Is that the alarm? Alright. I'm cool with that.
Alright. Start the timer. Right now. I'm gonna try to sniffle my way through this whole thing. Okay?
Start off.
Hello.
Hello.
A lot of videos came out yesterday. A lot of them.
Yeah?
Like five videos came out yesterday.
Videos.
What was your favorite?
Ooh.
Or in the last week, I guess. In the last week, we'll say.
In the last week?
Yeah.
Merm takes the cake. Is this
cake? Is that a saying?
Is it not a saying?
Never heard takes
Takes
the
the
cake.
cake?
Never heard it takes.
Alright, maybe I just made that up, but
Yeah.
maybe it's an American.
It's a new saying. Yeah.
Yeah, is this Parkour 3? I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think of it?
It was also my favorite.
Okay.
But it's almost because it's different than the other videos that came out this past week.
It's not like intended to be this like nice production.
Yeah, it's not. There's not a lot going into the. Well, I'm sure they try to film things to make them look nice, but it almost has more of like an old school feel.
Yeah.
To the
Old
recording.
school.
Yeah, it's like a 2008
Oh,
video.
back in the glory days.
In the glory days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love the glory days.
Yeah.
The cool part about it for me was the fact that they had it starts off with Dylan's like descent, which again that's a ridiculous descent.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that angle of it before.
Yeah.
Because it kind of makes it look a lot scarier. It's almost
It looks
POV
really
looking.
scary.
Yeah.
And he speeds it up towards the end too. Like I don't know, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, like there's a good mix of like messing around and just doing some like small challenges, and then also really crazy high level stuff.
Yeah.
And the cool part about it for me is that those high level moves and shots that they got they're just thrown in essentially a scrap video. It's almost like they don't care that much.
Yeah.
That it's just they're putting in even some of their like awesome stuff into what would be called the scrap video.
Yeah.
That to me is what's cool about it. That it's so nonchalant. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that Jake Smith is getting in videos a lot more now too. He was also in one of the Storm videos, that the Storm Jam videos that came out earlier, because he's a beast, and I don't think people really know about him.
Yeah. Jake
He's
Smith,
a beautiful creature.
He did that side flip over the fence, like with those strides. It was really cool. And he's always consistently showing up in the Merm content, which I'm glad for. It's like it's at the credits was like Dylan, Brandon, Knox featuring Jake Smith. It's like those are the only 4 people.
Did they have credits at the end?
Yeah, it was really quick.
Okay.
But yeah, Jake's awesome. Like Brandon's doing like massive like Kong over like heights and
his power surprises me.
It really does,
actually, because when I first met him, like it wasn't. He kind of demolished the speed courses. That was the first time I ever met him. Was when he came to NAPC and Brandon demolished the speed courses. And I was like, okay, he's a really fast guy, but I didn't think he, had hops or anything really.
Yeah.
I didn't really take him for that. Just seeing what he did on that first visit, and it's been kind of surprising ever since then.
Well, I remember the first time we actually saw him was in Seattle. He was competing in one of the Visions.
Right. Okay. No, that was the first time. Okay.
And like we saw him, we were like, "Who's this guy?" Like, doing really well.
I think Ryan tried to hype him up for me.
Yeah, Ryan was like, he was like, like he's a Colorado guy, like he's up and coming, and it's like, whatever. Like Corey's better. Corey's gonna win the comp. That's what is going on in my head. But they actually remind me of each other.
Corey Methvin
and Brandon. So I want to see Corey train a little bit more. And then
Corey's
maybe we'll
Brokeback Mountain right now. So.
I don't know. He's coming back. He's making a comeback.
He's coming back. Just spontaneous 3-story climbs on the weekend.
Yeah. The other thing I liked about the video was just like the silly editing things that Brandon likes to throw in there.
The little animations and illustrations
like
and stuff.
the throwing stars and stuff.
Yeah, because when you're uncomfortable moving around, we all do this at some point.
Just throwing like your arms all over the place. Yeah, that's so funny to me.
That's actually the number one thing whenever I see myself on video. I know you too, but
oh man, I hate my
but
arms.
if I do weird stuff with my hands and my arms, like I gotta do it again. Like clearly I don't look in control because I'm doing all these extra hands and things.
I'm like weirdly like self-conscious of what my hands do. Like I feel like they're too big for my body. And like they tend to do things while I'm doing parkour that frustrate me. And then people point it out to me. They're like, "Hey, you have this like really interesting like movement signature you do with your hands." And I'm just like, "Yeah, I know. I'm working on it."
Thank you.
My hands are too big for my body.
I just want to give kind of honorable mention too and talk about the store put on because they put out Cappadocia last week.
Yeah,
and then the Istanbul video
it was like a week and a half apart.
It's pretty close though. Yeah. For them, that's like pretty.
That's super close.
But watching the Nerf, it's almost like they put out like 3 videos in a month.
Yeah. Well, they're doing crazy. Like it looks like they did a tour of Turkey, which is cool.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing. I like this video more than I like the Cappadocia video. I thought some of the shots were really pretty still. Like I talked about last week, there weren't a ton of like memorable moments that happened.
For me, the descending line that Callum does, and then even Josh, that spot looks super fun.
That spot's cool. The other memorable moment for me was Max. He did like front to front, and it was like it was a big drop.
Yeah,
it was really cool. And then I just liked it was clearly in the rain when they were on that like rooftop.
On the roof with,
and
like,
they were
domes,
doing like the sliding and stuff, and like that was really cool. But I mean, again, that's not like super high level stuff. It's just like looks really fun. Yeah, story is awesome. They keep putting out content. I'm happy about it. No, it's just like this is like the 5th episode we've talked about story video.
Well, let's talk about Merm a lot too.
Yeah, we do.
Clearly,
well, we're fanboys.
I know nothing of other videos. Apparently.
I think what we should talk about is Nate's video.
Oh, the one path.
The one path in Seattle, Freeway Park. This is their 3rd one that they've done now?
Brandy did one, Justin did one. I want to say there's another one.
I was only aware of Justin's. I have to go back and check it out. But yeah. Cool. Nate, what do you think of Nate's? What do you think of Nate's run?
Cool,
his one path. Are we done? Okay.
Yeah. Well, Nate's crazy. There was, I gotta say I was a little let down on the cinematography on this one. I felt that Brandy's was the best shot. Justin's was pretty good, and this one just seemed like it fell back a little bit on the way it was shot. And I don't know, maybe that had to do with other implications, who knows. But yeah, I felt like it could have been shot a little better. There's some of the lines in there where I almost think Nate could have done the whole thing together. Parts of it, like chunks of it, could have actually been done together, and I wanted to see that. You know, maybe like a faraway angle with a zoom in and a pan or something, but that's just me.
I mean, a lot of the stuff he's doing is super high level, so
yeah.
I think it's actually really hard for him to connect some of those things together. Like there's a point where he like hopped up onto a wall and then did like a back full, and then as he's coming down, he like places his hand down, grabs, and then goes straight into a low cast. And whatever he did before that, he did like kind of like a tumbling line.
Yeah.
I think that was hard for him too. And so for him to combine both of those really cleanly, I think would be really difficult. And so I think that's why they had like the camera angle switch, and maybe to just capture the movement better. I don't know. You know a lot more about cinematography than I do, but my impression was that this was definitely the best one, just because of what was happening in it. the actual movement. The quality of his moves, and he's super underappreciated in parkour, and I think he's only gonna get better. He's super young too. One criticism. Nate, what was up with that stutter step before the run down the stairs?
At the end, that extra shot, he just kind of stutter steps up the stairs.
Oh, so weird.
Yeah. One criticism.
I thought he was gonna like do like flips down the stairs or something like that, and then he just ran down, and I was like, oh,
I guess
okay.
it looked. Maybe he felt like he was going too fast. Maybe he's trolling. Maybe that was a joke. Jokes on us. He meant to stutter step. I'm gonna say it was probably a troll.
Okay.
It's probably like, yeah, I'm gonna do all these smooth connections, and at the end of the video, I'm gonna be like, this little midget run.
And then run downstairs.
Oh, jeez, why? Why? It's fine.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. I really liked it. I like the idea that it's like a short and a quick video, and it's one line. Regardless of whether or not he actually does it in one line. I think it's a cool concept.
And I'm totally digging the concept of the other because Freeway Park is so amazing.
So Tyson has to do a line.
Is it? Have they talked about that?
No, I'm just saying Tyson has to do one.
Okay.
I'm just calling him out. Tyson, do a line, do a one path.
Do a one path. Yeah.
And I'd like to see Oliver as well.
I would assume that Oliver is probably the next athlete they'll feature.
Yeah.
From Seattle, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
They probably already started filming it. If not,
hopefully, yeah. Well, maybe if the weather's okay. It's kind of a crappy time of year.
Yeah. I'm just surprised too that Nate's not trying to. Did he submit anything for air whip or anything like that?
I don't know.
Because if you just look what what he's capable of, like how intelligently he puts together his moves too, like there's not any unused movements really.
He clearly understands how to put a line together.
Yeah.
And I knew that based on his submission to NAPC. When he put his line together, he did flyaway regrab, fly full, and then he did basically like some tumbling, and he like turned with it, and then he went back to a wall and then did like a low worm, which I thought was like just really cleanly put together the way he executed it. And then of course his line actually in the competition was, I mean, he got the highest score for a combo. Yeah. And well deserved too. Yeah. Well deserved. It was amazing. I'm getting chills right now. Just
yeah, I did when the side flip on the gap in the combo.
Yeah.
Like he essentially did a big move, and it's probably one of the biggest moves of the combo.
Well, when we were designing the course, I was like, it's too bad this isn't closer to the platform, so so athletes can do the flip gap. It's like, nobody's gonna do it with this distance. So well, maybe next time.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh my god, he did it.
Yeah, he just found a way to like cartwheel together enough run up, and just right away goes for it. Makes beautiful. It. Yeah, I feel like for stuff like that, I wish. I don't know. I guess it's not big enough, but I wish whoever's organizing Air Whip, would kind of look at whoever were the top finishers in other competitions. I feel like someone like Nate should be getting an invite to stuff like that.
I'm very confused as to the process that they use to choose athletes, because so we talked about the three guys that qualified, the two Russians and Bart.
Yeah.
Apparently they have a whole lineup of people that are already in the competition as well. They don't have to do live qualifiers, including Dante.
No, Dante's doing the he's at the qualifiers.
No, he's not doing the qualifiers.
Okay, because I just
athlete in the
I just saw him post something where he's saying I'm at the qualifiers. Like
he's going to watch. But he's in, and so is DK, and so is a bunch of other high level athletes, and I don't know how they decided that. Did they just send out invites and then have an additional online qualifier and then an additional live qualifier? That to me, it's like kind of all over the map. They don't have any real. It doesn't seem to me like they have any real method for choosing. It's just kind of like a popularity contest, which it can be useful to
Do you
do
mean
it that way.
popularity as in like popular videos? Like who are the...
Yeah, maybe popular videos, or just like who's well
Who has a
connected
big
enough,
following, yeah.
or what? I don't know. I'm confused by that. I'd like to see the competitions be like your position in a competition. If you're going to be in a competition, it's going to be determined by your past performances in competition, and by past I mean recent past. You know, not like what happened like years ago, but like what you did recently, how well you performed. And based on Red Bull, I don't know like if Dante should be there and Alfred Scott not. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, Alfred's not.
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of it's all over the map. Like I don't understand who got to make the decision that these athletes are in, these athletes have to qualify. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, that's my one issue with Air Whip right now. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be a pretty stacked competition. Looks like a lot of high level athletes there, but I don't know.
I think you almost have to see it like a comparison to prize fighting. There are certain prize fighters who will basically sell tickets and views more than others, regardless of talent. It's not like basketball where you can enter into a NBA tournament and you beat all these teams. There weren't exciting matches, but you beat all these teams and now you're in the championship round. I think parkour is kind of like that right now, where it's not necessarily the best competitors that are getting into the competitions.
It's the ones that promote themselves.
Yeah, because I believe that two of the best freestyle competitors are in the Pacific Northwest. It's Joey Adrian and Nate. Those are, I believe,
and neither of them
they would easily fit into top 10 in the world in terms of competing in a freestyle competition format.
Yeah,
where they have to do a live round of a line strung together. Those two guys easily fit in the top 10, and they're never in. They're never in any of the big competitions.
I mean, except for NAPC.
but
I mean, they're close enough where they can just come, and we recognize them as organizers. We're like, okay, you guys should be competing. I want to see them in more competitions. Nate's young still. I think he still has more time to grow, and not just as an athlete, but as a person in the community.
Right.
Joey just needs to put himself out there more. Maybe make like a really nice production.
Did you see a post on Instagram yesterday?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. Absolutely.
Like, who else can do that?
No.
Who else can do both of those lines? It's kind of what I was saying about.
I can't think of anybody that.
It's kind of what I was saying about Dante. I remember when he put out his I think it was his Red Bull submission, or maybe it was a highlight video where he did a big stride line and then finished it off with a triple, and it's like, who else can do that? Who else can do those two things? Together.
No one. That was his Red Bull submission. No, I'm so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Dante doesn't deserve to be there, but I don't. What I'm saying is I don't understand the process it took. Or they went through to actually select the athletes. I feel like it needs to be more fair, and maybe you're right. Maybe it is more like, who's popular now and who's gonna sell tickets, or get people watching. And I can I guess understand that, but again, I don't know. Like morally, that doesn't seem right.
Well, it doesn't seem right in any sport. Like I said, that's the biggest problem with prize fighting.
Right.
Is if you're a prize fighter and you're competing, that is your reality. Is you can be the best at your sport, and you still won't get to be in the top spotlight.
Right.
If you're not entertaining enough or whatever.
Yeah. Well. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Parkour in the future. There's no way we're gonna be able to.
I don't think it's gonna stay this way.
I think what's gonna eventually happen is that the competitions are gonna be the mode of promotion.
Right.
Right. So it's not gonna be just videos and stuff. In fact, I think there's actually gonna be probably more of a split in the community.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Where more people are gonna be drawn to competitions, and then others are gonna be drawn to video making, and some people would do both, but I think there's going to be like a general split in how it's done. Actually, maybe not. I don't know, because like Nyjah, like I'm thinking like skateboarding, like Nyjah Houston still puts out like video parts and like
right,
like all those.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's guys that are about only making videos.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
For whatever reasons,
they're just not
whether they're about ego or not doesn't matter. But for whatever reasons, they're not doing the competitions, and they're just about I just want to put out works of art and put out the videos and stuff. Yeah,
I mean, I think I want both to be a part of the sport in the future, moving forward. I think there's room for it. So, do you want to talk about Brazil?
I do.
Okay, let's talk about
Sao Paulo. Do you know the name of the competition? It's
some kind of Portuguese. I don't remember what it was.
I just want to say first, before we get into it, that this is it looks like there's tons of money going into it.
Oh yeah.
It's a big course. They got crane cameras. The one thing I didn't really see and maybe it was because it was the qualifier or not the main one, but Callum posted a clip. And there's people cheering and stuff, but it's a very small group of people.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a massive audience.
So, I don't know what was up with that. If maybe we can't see the audience from that clip or where we can see the footage will be cool.
Yeah.
I would, I woke up at 7 a.m. here to watch Red Bull when that was up. And I would love to to watch this competition because I'm actually more interested in speed courses than freestyle competitions.
Yeah, me too. I'm interested in both, but I want to see more speed courses in parkour competitions because it's such a underdeveloped aspect of the sport.
Anyways, props to whoever in Sao Paulo is putting this together because they managed to block off a street to set up this massive course and get the budget together to film it with what looks like some really expensive equipment.
Okay.
But the format.
Let's talk about format.
Okay. So it's head to head.
Head to head. So it's racing. And it's very linear. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
What
do you think about racing?
Yeah. It's been brought up to me like several times ever since.
Me too.
Kind of started dabbling in designing courses, right? Is a lot of people have come up and suggested like you should do it. You should do head to head. It's gonna be more exciting. This is the way to do it. My take is that my feeling is that it takes away from the details. You're gonna miss the details of how each person is doing the course because all you're doing is just watching which one's getting ahead of each other and not really necessarily what they're doing to get ahead of the other unless you watch replays, which you can't see live. And it's not really parkour. It's not really we don't do that. That's rage frubling, I think. Is the correct term.
Rage frubling would allow for physical contact. Yes. So I don't know if it's like a mixture, but so you're talking about you can't see the details of what they're doing. I think that's very important, but I also think it's really hard to design a good course for that because it has to be basically each athlete has to have the same access to opportunity, right? So the course itself is designed so that it's very linear. There's literally no turning except to like sort of turn back and go back forward in certain scenarios. And again, I mean, it is set up in such a way where each athlete has the same exact opportunity to move forward. But the problem is it's so standardized to the point where no athlete did the course differently. Right? Or at least based on what I saw. It's very hard to do something different to gain an edge on a competitor. And it's honestly, it's more about, not fatiguing through the course and being able to hit all of the jumps. And it's mostly about how fast you can move between things. Which so what are we trying to measure? Are we trying to measure parkour ability, or are we trying to measure, sprint
the ability to run this course? I also want to mention too that a local guy won, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know his name.
I think they said Bird or something.
Yeah, something
I want
like
to
that.
say if I'm getting it wrong.
Yeah.
Didn't look into this enough before talking about it with you, but
yeah, and then Callum was second. Callum Powell?
No, because Kai went up against whoever. It's all back. Callum made a post where he was racing someone, and then he said, "Oh, I got beat. I didn't get to run in the finals against Kai." I don't know how that affected the final. Doesn't matter. However they tournamented it, but the point I want to make is that I think a local guy won, and I'm skeptical now to whether or not he had more practice on the course itself. And given that the course was pretty basic and pretty restricted to different ways you can run it, I would say he got maybe a competitive edge. And this is just, I can't really say for sure until
You're speculating a little
but I'm very skeptical of the fairness and potential fairness. Or maybe he's just really dope at speed courses and we haven't heard of him.
That's entirely possible because we've seen that ourselves, right? Like Brandon Douglas, he was really unknown for a long time, and he was really good at speed courses. Corey Methvin, really good at speed courses. Who
watching this knows who Corey is?
Who knows who Corey is?
Yeah. When you said Corey, I had to make sure we got a last name in there because people are probably thinking DeMeyers.
Yeah, it's true.
He's the only Corey on the map, really.
Yeah. So my biggest problem is the elimination of creativity in the course.
Yeah.
Looks like the athletes are not given the freedom to be creative to go faster. And that, I think, is the one limitation of that format. And one of potentially a few others as well. But
I'd say it's the downfall of most speed courses I've either competed in or seen designed.
Yeah. Most speed courses are way too restrictive. I feel like with speed course design, you have to have as little restriction as possible when you're designing it. That way you allow for the massive amount of creativity for the athletes to cut time. And what we found with NAPC is that it works. There's a massive variability in how people run courses, and it shows in the times.
Just getting the propaganda machine rolling.
Hey, this is our show. We can talk about whatever we want.
Can be biased. This is not an unbiased show.
These are all the opinions held. Not necessarily our views do not represent the views of Origins.
Anyway, I just want to comment too on Callum. Kind of actually did a little post. When I say little, I mean actually long for a Facebook post. It was kind of like a write up on how he felt competing in it. He said it was exhilarating, going head to head, and lots of fun. I want to say I'm not totally against that style of competition. I want to draw a parallel to skiing because I've been looking at skiing a lot in terms of where I think parkour competition can kind of model itself after. There's a lot of similarities in both ski racing and freestyle. And when you look at ski racing, they do have individual timed and they have head-to-head timed. But head-to-head, I think, they definitely do it for moguls head-to-head, and I don't know what other events. I don't know quite enough about skiing, but anyways, there's existing both, and they have plenty of events for both. And you can decide one of the only thing when you look at, I think, the head-to-head in skiing is the same problem we have here, is that it's very restricted to how you ski the course.
You know what that course reminded me of? It reminded me of the old. I mean, these videos pop up in Facebook all the time, but it's like the old like firefighter training.
Yeah, it looked like that.
Yeah,
yes.
So where and sometimes race. It's done with teams, not necessarily ladder races, but like they have standardized structures where they have to do like they very parkour like movements where it's like the original parkour style courses where it's like they have to do wall pops, they do strides and like speed vaults and stuff like that. But it's all very, very standardized structures, the same exact structures in every video I've ever seen, and it's often head-to-head, and sometimes it's like teams where like one guy will do a first part of the course and then like relay to the next guy who does the next part of the course. Very similar to that format, which which is awesome and it's exciting, but it's not original. And again, there's no creativity. Every athlete has to be good at those standardized moves and structures. And I guess that's my issue with it. But again, like I'm not opposed to having, race style parkour speed competition. I'm actually stoked that it exists now. Yeah, that they're doing it. So because that's another type of event that people can look towards, and then if it sticks, that's 30.
That's 30 minutes. We'll finish this up though.
Well, yeah. So if it sticks and people continue wanting to compete in it, then that's great. That works. But if it doesn't, if people start to favor other types of competition, maybe an APC, maybe any other speed course competition out there, then that's sort of the marketplace of ideas, like determining which competition will be the winner. And maybe there will just be lots of different styles of competition in parkour. And that's kind of how it looks like right now. Yeah. Maybe in the future it'll be more narrow. Maybe in the future it'll be more broad. Maybe it'll be a ton of different styles of competition and people can get stoked on it. But yeah, it just depends on what athletes want to compete in. It clearly, what Callum's post suggested was that he wants to compete in that competition more.
I think he wants to do both, but yeah, he wants to do more of those as well.
Well, what I'm saying is he wants to do more of it. So, and maybe other athletes feel the same way. So that style of competition is going to stick around. If he comes and he competes at an APC or something like that, maybe he'll really like that too. And so maybe he'll want to do both. Or maybe he'll find out that another one is better than the other in his own mind. And so he'll only stick with that style of competition. We'll see, who knows what people are going to be drawn to.
It's also, I think it's open for someone to basically standardize a course, because we talk about it if it's going to be a head-to-head competition, it has to be standardized structures, and it's almost like someone could just go ahead and standardize the course and call it something.
Right.
Like I recently found out that Ironman, like if you run Ironman is trademarked. So those distances, like the distance that you bike, that you swim, that you run in an Ironman race, is trademarked. So, and there's another similar type of triathlon you can do called like a challenge. It's just called challenge. No one does it because it's not. It's weird because it's pretty much pretty close to the same thing, but no one does it as much because you don't get as much props for it, because Ironman is the bigger name. They ran with it. So like someone could do that with parkour. They could, call a course something and then just parade it around with money, because I'm sure there's a market for it. But I don't know. I'm still more interested in making courses that open up more creativity and are run one at a time. Well, we've also talked recently about taking away the Ready, Set, Go. I think we'll be playing around with that soon. So
yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Cool.
Should we end with that?
Yeah, we can end with that.
All right, man.
Actually, we got one question from Vinny. He messaged me earlier this week. He said, "Why won't you answer my questions?"
Which question,
Dad?
Did he ask last week?
No, that's the question. Why won't you answer my questions?
Because they didn't get enough likes.
No, it's because they're bad questions.
All right. He's not going to ask again. Cheers, man. See you guys next week.